Hi there, Mirella Mack here. Thank you so much for clicking onto my video. I truly appreciate it. If this is your first time seeing me, hello darling, my name is Mirella. So happy to have you here. If you are a returning subscriber, hey sweetheart, it's so good to have you. Virtual hugs and kisses. It's so good to be back. I had taken a break to not make the story long. I needed a break. I saw that if I continued vlogging, the quality of the content I produced was going to continuously decline because your girl was running on E. So outside of vlogging and editing, there's a real life behind. This girl is real. And so I had a number of things that were running in the background and I could not keep up. And so I had to give vlogging a pause without announcing. I truly apologize for not communicating, but I had to give vlogging a pause. And now I think I'm ready to come back. I think I have things in order for me to continuously produce good and valuable content for you, right? Documenting my life with a few good lessons for you. Now, today's video is going to be focused on lessons I learned in 2024 that I'd love to share with you. Or in other words, mistakes I made this year. So I'm going to be vulnerable and honest because I'm sure it's going to help someone out there, right? I believe we're a community that's here to be aiding one another and to be adding value to each other. So right now my daughter's not home. She's at my sister's because my husband and I needed a few days for debriefing and planning our lives going forward. Now, I think every couple needs this, even just as an individual. If you're just you, even if you're married, you need to take time off to think and say, what has happened thus far? Why didn't we meet our goals? What are the mistakes we made? Everybody taking accountability, no finger pointing. We can highlight, but you do know you did this. But like, listen, it's meant to be a constructive conversation that you have with your spouse. And this December holiday has been that for us. We did not go on holiday. We have just taken time to plan our lives going forward. There's certain things that we want to achieve, and so going on holiday wasn't the most ideal thing. We had other things that were above in terms of priority. So we had to stay at home, sit, look at each other and say, right, A, B, C, D. You know, and smile about it. But we've had a really good time in reflection and planning. I hope that you have also taken the time to not just bum out on your sofa or your couch watching Netflix and just flicking through channels and watching football and just drinking and having fun, yet you know your life needs a bit of planning. Please do not procrastinate on reflection and planning the way forward. If you've already done that, I'm so proud of you. You're the better person here. However, if you have not done that, if you've spent this time just running away from your reality, my encouragement to you is take the time. It's not that scary. Write out what you wanted to achieve this last year, why you failed to achieve it, what you could have done better, and what you're going to do going forward. So what I'm going to share with you today are 5 lessons I learned in this last year and how I believe they're going to make our lives better once we apply them and correct them going forward. Now, it's not plans for 2025, it's plans for life going forward. I think if we limit plans to a year, it's a lot of pressure. The older I've gotten, the shorter the year has become. 12 months are not that long for me. I've bumped into people who say, oh my gosh, it's end of year already. No, I am not in shock that it's end of year. I have a calendar. I see the days come and go. I see the bills coming. I'm not shocked that it's end of year. I'm actually excited. I'm hoping for the holidays to end quickly because your girl needs to get back to work. I think a lot of entrepreneurs feel like that. They're like, yo, can this holiday come to an end? We need to make money. We need to cover some ground going forward. So anyways, without wasting more time, because your girl has the gift of the gab, I can talk till sunset. And I don't want to do that to you. So I decided to write out the list of things that I learned that I want to share with you to keep me on task. I learned that statement like recently, stay on task. It made me feel so bougie. All right, so the first lesson I want to share with you is number 1, setting too many goals for a year that's already too short. Now, a lot of times when it's the new year, there's this excitement, there's this fueling that we get, and then the next thing we want to build a mansion, buy a car, have triplets, get married again, and there's just so many things we want to do in a single year, and we overwhelm it and overwhelm ourselves, and by the end of that year we'd have accomplished absolutely nothing. We actually become more depressed because we set things that are so high, then we don't achieve them, and then you feel so bad about yourself. So lesson number one is set realistic goals. You know, some people call them SMART goals, whatever goals. You can Google how to set goals. We are meant to set goals that fit within the year. This does not discount the goodness of God or His grace or His miraculousness, but we must also be realistic. God wants us to be responsible individuals and not dreamy individuals. So as the year is coming up, if you're already watching this within the new year, set realistic goals that you can match up, and not limiting a year to the set calendar months, if you understand what I'm saying. So for some people, they have 12 months. For me, the way I see it, time is just rolling over. However you want to break it, time is just rolling over the next month. 12 months can start from February, 12 months can start from June, 12 months can start from any point in time. It doesn't have to be limited to January to December, right? Your 12 months can start in April. Whenever you're watching this video, your 12 months can start then, all right? So the number one lesson is do not set too many goals lest you achieve none, and the next thing you're depressed and you feel like a failure, yet that's not the case. Set realistic goals. Now, the second thing is something that I've done over the years, and it's actually setting the goals and writing them down, the resolutions that we're always encouraged to write out, even if it's like the right amount of them, right? I didn't set too many. I've put like a goal per quarter, right? However, the one mistake I always made was not having a game plan of how to achieve that specific goal, right? It could be abs by June, and then I don't have a set plan of going to the gym or doing CrossFit or eating less or exercising more. It's just a goal that's been written, right? And a picture next to it. Vision boards, they're even on our phones, the whole vision board thing. But then with your vision board, how are you going to achieve all those things? You can put stacks of money, a Rolls Royce, a helicopter, all of that jazz. But a wise person understands that behind all of those images are plans. Now, let's say you want to raise $10,000 by June 2025. That's 6 months. Now you're like, this $10,000 is going to buy me a car. Great. We've put a figure to the car that we want, right? If you want a Mercedes, find out how much that Mercedes costs. If you want a Bentley, find out how much it costs. If you want an apartment, count the costs. It's there in the Bible. It's biblical. We need to be responsible and realistic. How much is it going to cost for us to get this car? Let's say it's $10,000. Fantastic. Now we break it down even further. How much do we have to make per month? That's $1,666, if I'm not mistaken, that you're going to have to make per month. Let's break it down further. How much do you have to make per week? $416 per week. Great. Even further, let's count 5 days in a week and not 7. 5 days a week, you have to make $83. Boom, now you're sitting. And you know, your $10,000 car is going to require you to make $83 a day without failure. Now that is coming up with a game plan. Now, after you've figured out the cost of that thing, how am I going to make $83 a day or $1,666 a month? You can multiply this number or divide the number. It's still going to work out the same. You're going to have to come up with your daily income profit, right? Let's remember, this has to be profit, not gross. Your net profit has to be $83 for you to get to a 10K spend. It's not $83 gross, right? And then the other thing that you have to remember is that as you're setting this $10,000 goal for your car, you always have to know your monthly expenses that are constant. Now you have to meet those monthly expenses down to the T, and then your $10,000 goal will only be made once you've made your monthly expense. Now, if your monthly expense of rent and food and whatever is $1,000, right? you have to first cover the $1,000 of that month before you start counting the $416 per week towards your car. So number one, understand what your monthly expenses are, and then the goals that go above that, right? That goal of the year, the holiday, the this, the that, has to be above that. At times, my husband and I would make mistakes in the month, right? We know our monthly expenses are what, 5,000, 6,000, whatever the number is for you. You put it at 5,000, 7,000, 3,000, right? And then whenever we'd receive 1,000, we'd be like, yay, we're closer to our car or our holiday, only to then realize, oops, we haven't paid this, we haven't paid that, we actually haven't done anything. So you have to know your monthly costs that are running, and then whatever you make above that then meets your goal. So the mistake that has been made a lot of times are goals that have no figures and no plans of how to earn the income to achieve them. The third mistake I've made is setting and forgetting. So I've written down my realistic goal of a car. I've written down that it's going to be $10,000. I've written down that it's going to be $83 a day. And then I've written this all down, and then I don't do any reviews, no look backs, no checks. Setting and forgetting is how we miss our goals entirely, when you don't have a review, when you don't have any accountability. Now, the thing that you have to do to be better is to have accountability. That's why even at school, primary school, high school, university, they will teach, test, and check. Teach, test, check. To see, it's an accountability method, to see how far you have actually come, if you're grasping the concepts. Imagine if you had to learn from January, the whole year, no tests, no assignments, and only get tested in December. You're most likely to forget and fail, and then people judge you based on that. How wrong would that be? Now, if a teaching system is going to be testing you and reminding you constantly on how you're doing throughout the year, I think it's the same approach we need to do with our goals. Now, if your goal is to lose weight, how many kgs do you want to lose per week, or grams? I don't know, unless you're on Ozempic. How many grams or kgs are you trying to lose per month? Now that accountability has to happen. How many sizes down do you want to be by the end of 90 days? Those are the checks that you have to be having constantly. If you're a couple saving up for money for land, or saving up to build a home, instead of just having this mansion picture on your wall, and I've done it before. I've done it so many times where I cut out the picture of the car I want and I stick it there. Half the time I don't know how much it costs, and even if I do know the cost, after setting the picture there, give it 3 weeks. I'm not even checking my balance. I'm now just going with life. You know, like my dad would say, utategile, like wherever the wind takes you, you're just like going, because you're not checking and you've got no discipline. Now, if you're constantly checking, the next time you're invited out for drinks, the next time you're invited out for a holiday, you're actually going to have the discipline to say, no, I have done my $1,666. I have nothing above that for entertainment. It's not in my budget. I'm sorry, I can't come. Then someone else will come and say, yeah, life, YOLO, you only live once, just go out, have fun. Even if you die, we're going to eat your money. You know, there's all these statements that make you spend your savings or make you irresponsible. Refrain from those statements. Run from those people. Like run. Don't stick around for such advice. Run away from people who are going to try to take you out of your discipline, instead of just honoring that and respecting your discipline. Now, the next lesson, which is lesson number 4.5, 5. I have so many more, trying to squish them in. The next lesson I learned was a hard lesson. It was during prayer, and our pastor was praying for a harvest. Everybody was online. There were over 200 people online at midnight praying, and he said, harvest, may you harvest all the seeds that you've sown that have not, given a harvest, you haven't reaped. We speak a bumper harvest, 10 times more, la-di-da. And I was praying until the Holy Spirit said to me, where have you sown seed? What harvest are you praying for? It's like farmer A and farmer B. Farmer A has been planting seed while farmer B was sleeping and eating what he had. And then the rain came and everything. And now it's harvest season. And farmer B and farmer A are both standing outside praying for a harvest. we know for a fact only one is going to reap. If you're lucky, farmer A will give farmer B some, and then you think, yeah, that's the grace of God, just giving you enough so you don't die because you've been irresponsible. You're not gonna die. Farmer A is gonna give you some. Then you say, oh, the Lord heard me. And they're like, yeah, he just kept you alive. But truth be told, I could not pray that prayer any further. I actually tapped out of midnight prayers that moment because it was a prayer for receiving the harvest, and I realized I was an irresponsible farmer. I had not sown any good seed. And at times, some people are wondering, what do you mean by seed? If you are into business, how many quotations have you sent out? How many adverts have you put out? How much word of mouth have you sown? How many applications have you made? Some kids are praying for university positions and they haven't applied to one place. They don't even know which schools are open or when intakes are. Some people are praying, Lord, I want my master's degree. You're not even trying to find out which schools have intakes, which ones you can afford, which ones you can't. You have not put out applications. You've not applied for the visa. You've not applied for the position. You're not even going out so that guys see you, but you're praying for marriage. You're praying for food. We're constantly praying for things, but then we have not actually sown the seed. Now, that's the lesson I have here. Let's stop praying for harvests, knowing well that we did not plant a single seed to be able to receive that harvest. Be honest with yourself. We need to spend more time planting so that when we're praying, we pray with confidence, knowing that, you know what? I put in my work. I put in my hours. I put in the good that I possibly could. With where I am, the best I had, I did. Most of us just continuously pray as a congregation, and then when we don't receive, we say God doesn't work. Yet it's all because you did not do your part. I'm sorry if this hits somebody harsh. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Now, the last lesson I learned was a bit of a hard one, and that is be more of yourself. Stop trying to be like other people. I've admired a lot of creators. I've admired a lot of people that are doing well in life, and a number of times I try copy what they do because I want their results. I want the certain things that I want, but I've come to realize they are doing well in their lives where they are because they are authentically themselves. They are authentically walking their path. Most people that we're admiring and seeing on social media and whatever and doing well and thriving, it's because they're walking their path. They are using their strengths, holding on to their weaknesses, and moving on with who they are. And then on the other hand, you have people like me, probably like you as well, who copy people, hoping for the same results. We immediately run out of fuel because it's not authentic. It's not within us. We cannot do what others do. What I'm learning this year and going forward is to study myself. What am I good at? What is it that I have? What is it that I can find? What is it that you have? What's the gift that you have? What's that thing that you have that you can cultivate? That thing that can reap and bear fruit for you. What is that thing? Let's stop looking outside. It's great. Let's applaud for other people. But what you're seeing a number of times, and it's so much truth, what we're seeing is people's consistency and never giving up. We're seeing the results of their work. We're seeing the results of wearing blinkers, being in an incubator, not focusing on anything else, and doing their best being themselves. And they're not trying to be like anybody else. Most people who are successful are successfully being themselves. And the rest of us waste a lot of time and energy and emotion and resources in trying to be like them. Yet God made you unique. And He knows what He has inside of you, that what you have is enough. You don't have to be like someone else. You don't have to be like so-and-so. Think of that person you admire and you're like, hey, but I'm not like that person. I want to do what they do, but I'm not like them. No one asked you to be like them. Nobody asked you to be like them. There's something that you carry. There's a gift that you carry. And if we stop focusing on the numbers and all of these things, we're going to be fine. I think focus on being your best self, your happiest self, bringing your best self. That's all you have to do. But that's all you have to do. And with that in mind, I'd really appreciate it if you liked, shared, and subscribed to my channel, because I'm really trying to be authentically myself online. And for you guys to show me that I'm doing a fairly good job, yeah, please do like, share, and subscribe. I would absolutely love it. Try watch the videos to the end. Like, let them play in the background. Support your gal. I'm doing my best in trying to be myself. Now, I hope these lessons have done something for you. Now, in the comment section, I'm hoping for feedback. Please, let's talk so I know I'm not crazy and talking to my phone by myself. I would love to hear from you guys in the comment section, what you think of either of these things that I've shared with you, where you feel you need to do better. And let's grow together. This community is for growth. This community is for sharing information. And I pray God blesses you. Now, let me stop talking right now, because I have so much more that I want to share with you. See, I have come back recharged to YouTube. I've got so much in store. Anyways, guys, I love you with the love of God. Let me get going. I need to edit and post this before the new year. All right, I love you.